Hello everyone, welcome to another TCG Talk video, and today we are going to be going over Lexi's bows, or at least the bows that she has access to, and some of the main ones that she uses, and which one is best for which situation. At my local game store and some of the people I play with, there's a lot of Lexi players right now, a lot of people enjoying Lexi, and I think that the reason I put Lexi in my S tier in one of my videos, which some people were happy about, some people weren't, is because of her versatility. Lexi can do so many different things. She can go tall with an ice build and go for high dominate attacks and make you discard a lot and give you frostbites. She can go wide with a lightning build and hit you with a lot of different attacks, doing a lot of on-hit effects and things like that. Or she can do a mix of both. So she's very good at being on a sideboard even and kind of do a lot of different things. You never know what type of Lexi you're about to play. And even after the first couple of flips of cards, maybe you get a couple ice cards, get a couple of frostbites, it might not be a straight ice Lexi, and you don't know what it's going to be. I think whatever bow she's using is honestly the biggest tell of what type of Lexi it is. But you don't know that until after the sideboard phase, so because you reveal equipment and that afterwards, but at least you can tell early on. Anyway, I wanted to kind of go, it's going to be a somewhat quick video, just go over each bow. What each bow is good at, what each bow is not as good at, what cards that I can remember off the top of my head that play really well into each bow, and we'll go from there. So the first one I'm going to go over is Shiver. For Shiver, I personally use Shiver. So my Lexi build is an Ice Lexi build. I actually have it in one of my videos as a deck tech if you want to check it out. I think Shiver is really good if you're trying to go tall and do high dominating attacks. Obviously, it can give you a +1 or dominate, and it's once per turn at instant speed. And it's really good for that high dominate attack. You know, maybe you fuse a card, giving it an on-hit effect like a discard mechanic or a frostbite token, like with Blizzard Bolt or Chilling Ice Vein. If you can use pump spells like Seek and Destroy and Take Aim and Overflex, or even Weave Ice and Ice Quake to give your attacks pump, and then you load it in and give it dominate, right? I've had several turns where I'll play a Seek and Destroy into a Take Aim, which is +6. And then I'll use one of my cards, my third card, to load it down in there and to attack. So you're hitting maybe Blizzard Bolt for 11 with dominate. And then you have the Seek and Destroy on hit effect. You have the Blizzard Bolt fuse effect. And you can really annoy your opponent. Another thing you can do if you have a 5-card hand is you use Lexi's ability, flip up an ice card, play that ice card. Maybe it's an ice or Weave Ice that gives a red Weave Ice +3, and then you play Seek and Destroy and Take Aim. Obviously, is best case scenario. So now you're hitting for +9 with dominate. That sounds like super like situational, but it actually happens more times than you think, especially if you're running full play sets of each of those cards, or at least 3 of each of those cards, right? So it's really good for that. And it's also, it can give the +1 if you need to. Maybe you did a card like Ice Quake, or a card, I can't think of off the top of my head, but it's the Ice Fusel card that gives you dominate if they don't pay. Polar Blast. If you play Polar Blast and they choose not to pay, so your card automatically has dominate, then you can use the +1. And since it's once per turn at instant speed, if you can somehow give it, play it again, then it's really useful for that. But yeah, Shiver's mainly used for the go tall dominating attacks in order to put a lot of pressure on your opponent with the on hit effects. And then you use other utility cards like Winter's Bite and other things to get cards out of the opponent's hand. And Chilling Ice Vein to get cards out of the opponent's hand, and even Frostlock or a card like that, right? So that's what I suggest with Shiver. If you like tall dominating attacks and then using Frostbite and discard effects in order to prevent your opponent from hitting you back as a Ranger player, then it's really useful for that. So that's the first bow I think Lexi is good for. Obviously, Voltaire is the other one. Voltaire is more for lightning builds. You can use it twice per turn. You may put a arrow in your card face up into your arsenal if you do choose one, and you can either give it +1 or go again. Most of the time, if you're doing a straight lightning Lexi build, you're going to be using the +1 effect more than anything, because if you flip a lightning card with Lexi at the beginning of your turn, your next attack gets go again. So you're going to be using the +1 effect more than not. But if you can use Voltaire with a equipment piece like New Horizon, then this deck can get pretty disgusting. I've seen a Lexi deck hit for 4 or 5 a turn using 3 of a kind, using some other big draw mechanic cards and go again mechanic cards um, in order to go really wide with Lexi. And even with Lightning Lexi, you're doing a lot of on-hit effects, doing a lot of different things with her in order to, get that go again, and also, deal some extra damage, with like Buzz Bolt and stuff like that, and then Dazzling Crescendo and other things. So it's really useful for that. It's more of a go wide. It's similar to Death Dealer, where it doesn't draw a card, but you can use it multiple times a turn. Like Death Dealer is the biggest one where you can use it multiple times a turn. But it's really good for those lightning builds. So if you're wanting to go wide, you're wanting to put a lot of pressure on your opponent. You don't have as much of a resource intensive deck. You can use Voltaire in order to get cards down to your hand. This is also goes really good with some of the old Ranger cards. Headshot and endless arrow and things like that, where you can basically load them back in and give them, headshot gets +2 when it's loaded in, and then you can give it another +1, so it's hitting for 7. And you can do on-hit effects with other cards. Endless arrows for 4, so if you give it a pump and then you use this, giving it 5, and it has go again from the lightning ability that Lexi gave by flipping a lightning card. So now you're hitting for a 5 arrow that's possibly going to go right back into the player's hand. And then you also can use Seek and Destroy and Take Aim with this as well. You use a Seek and Destroy and Take Aim, giving it +6. And then you drop the arrow in, give it another +1. So it's hitting for +7 on top of whatever it's already hitting for. And you're going to have another arrow possibly coming in. If you use some of Lexi's equipment that allows you to drop arrows right down into the arsenal immediately without using resources, there's cards that can do that in case you're a little strapped for cash on resources. Voltaire is really good for going wide and really good if you're wanting to put a lot of pressure on your opponent. So for the third one, this is Death Dealer, once per turn action. If you have no cards in your arsenal, you may put down in there. If you do, you draw a card. So the reason that this is so good, it's already good in and of itself, right? You put one down in Arsenal. You don't get any of the pump spells or any of the effects that Shiver or that Voltaire give you, but you do draw a card. This is really, really, really good in a Lightning Lexi build, because if you can use on-hit effects like Snapshot and other ones that allow you to play something at instant speed, you can play Death Dealer at instant speed even after it's already been used, which allows you to use Death Dealer twice, right? So if you can do like multiple snapshots, let's say you use 2 snapshots in a Lightning Lexi build to have go again, that are 0 cost to play. You just have to pay the one to put it down into the arsenal. You can essentially play Death Dealer 2 or 3 times a turn, and you're drawing 2 or 3 cards a turn. I've seen it happen. I've seen one of our people at our local game store got lucky and had 3 snapshots. So they pitched the blue, was kept playing snapshots over and over. They got go again with the lightning ability mechanic, or they gave it go again with other cards, and they kept drawing cards up. So it's really good if you're wanting to draw a lot of cards, do a lot of things, especially if you get like pairs with something like a 3 of a kind, where you already have a lot of cards in hand, and then you use Death Dealer, you draw another card, so you essentially just drew 4 cards in one turn. So it's really useful for that. I think personally, if you're trying to go wide, Death Dealer is a little bit better than Voltaire. Yes, you don't get that +1, but you're already going to get go. If you have a Lightning Lexi build, you're already going to get go again with the flip mechanic that Lexi has. So the fact that you can draw a card, I would rather draw a card than get the +1, honestly. With Shiver, it's a little bit different because the flip mechanic with the ice build is Frostbite. There's really no substitute for that, right? But with Death Dealer, I feel like with a lightning build, you want to keep drawing cards because you're going to keep getting go again, and you want to keep being able to put as many cards in your hand as you can. Voltaire is still useful. It's still good, and I think Voltaire is really good if you have New Horizon. But if you don't have New Horizon, I would personally use Death Dealer. I think it's probably the better card for you to go wide and do a lot of different things with. But these are the 3 main arrows, or not arrows, but bows that you will see people use with Lexi. I think, again, if I had to rank it, Death Dealer and Shiver are kind of tied, in my opinion. It just depends on what type of build you're doing. I probably actually put Death Dealer first, as crazy as that sounds. I would put, and then Shiver and Voltaire, it's literally if you're just doing Ice or Lexi build. It's not that one's better than the other. It's literally just what you're trying to do. But they're both can be very useful. But being able to play your bow again at instant speed off of some of those on-hit effects that's like Snapshot gives or something else, can really make the difference with Death Dealer and allow you to draw multiple cards a turn and just to continue to play wide. But if you enjoyed this video, I hope you did. It's pretty simple, pretty simplistic, just for people who maybe are new to the Ranger class, have never played with the bows, and not know what each one does and what each one is good for. Hopefully it was useful for you. If it wasn't, let me know. If it was, let me know. If you know someone that's trying to play Ranger and they've never played before, maybe show them this video. If you want, leave a like, comment, subscribe. Really helps out the channel. Gives me a lot of good feedback. Helps me know what you all want. If you don't do it to me, go to another Flesh and Blood creator. Do it for them. Leave a like and subscribe and comment on their stuff so we can get more people seeing this game. But I hope you all enjoy the video. I hope you all have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time on TCG Talk. Thank you.